Hey everybody, this is That A Gamer, and I'm gonna read a creepypasta for you called Why. Let's get started. I'm what you'd call a PC retro gamer. Anything between 70s and early 90s computer games are something I live for, but also fall into a subcategory for this niche, as I've made a hobby of hunting down and rare and obscure games and collecting them. There's so much I found. A beta version of Doom 2 with most of the maps either missing or slightly different, and a glow-in-the-dark pre-release. Hell, at one point I thought I'd find the holy grail of Leisure Suit Larry 4, but that turned out to be fake. Anyway, my friend Barry knew about my obsession, although didn't share in it. So when my birthday came around, I would always anticipate a few old games to play through. And on my 22nd birthday, my present included a copy of Waxwork, unless without the code that came with it, but still. A CD of System Shock and something else. My friend Barry said his cousin handed him this game years back, but never could really play, due to his computer breaking and Barry's general dislike for games. Either way, he passed the box containing 3 unmarked floppy disks. He said he didn't know what the game was, and thought I might like it anyway. I most certainly didn't. Oh sure, I was happy for the mystery of an unmarked game, but that night I regretted replacing those floppy disks into my computer. The first thing I noticed was the DOS prompt. Normally it would say something like loading game title or running.exe, but for some reason all that appeared was loading 01010111011101 and so on. A screen capped it so I wouldn't forget. Thinking it was a little odd, but not really caring, I patiently waited for the game to start. When the loading was complete, the screen flickered into a dark shade of black. At first I thought my monitor was busted, but then a pixelated image appeared on my screen. It was a blue-tinted skull with no jaw. In front of it was a name, Why. I figured, sweet, a good old horror game, but thought to myself, wait, where's the company logo? Normally one would appear before any game screen. Figuring it was maybe an unreleased homebrew game, I clicked enter and was brought to a screen consisting entirely of text. This confirmed in my mind that this was a homebrew, as text of other games were very easy to make, and one thing was weird. Why 3 floppies? Normally for homebrew games, they only need 1 disc, but 3? Jesus, someone was busy. The first sentence on screen was, dark room, demon on other side, knife in hand, what will you do? Naturally the choppy writing peeved me, but I did what any gamer would do and typed, kill demon with knife. Almost instantly after I hit enter, another sentence appeared, you brutally murdered him. Good work! I had to laugh at the most juvenile way which the sentence ended, but still I thought the way it was written was strange. After all, heroes in games don't brutally murder demons. They just kill them and move on. Considering nothing else come up, I figured I could do what anyone else in an RPG, and loot the corpses for gold or items. Found, driver's license, picture of children, subway card. Okay, what the hell? Subway didn't exist in the DOS era, and why would a demon drive a car? Well, Zork had a similar subversive humor toward standard fantasy stories, so maybe it's inspired by that. Still, a subway card? I would have thought then that the game was new, but Barry said he got it years back, around the 80s. Oh well, I guess the company was around back then and didn't know. Out of nowhere, more text flashed up. Banshees walked through the door. If she managed to use scream, you die. Figuring this was a timed action, I quickly typed stab with knife. The game asked, stab where? Figuring it was now to stop her scream, I replied, the neck. The game slowly brought up, no response, and then, good choice. Okay, this is freaking me out a little. The game said, you slit the bitch's throat before she had a chance to scream. What? Since when did this game start getting all adult language on me? And why call it a bitch? This game was seriously creeping me out at this point. Another text screen came up. You leave the room. You're in a dark hallway. Up the stairs you see a glint of light as something runs out of you. Worried about what would happen next, I still wanted to get this game a chance. That was the single worst mistake of my entire life. Go upstairs, I typed. You stand opposite a closet door. You hear strange noises coming from the other side. Will thou venture forth? Considering the game never used medieval speak before, I figured that the creator of the game was just pulling a prank on whoever played it at the beginning, and now it would be more of a real RPG. I timidly typed, open door. You see 2 trolls, one half the size of the other. They're hiding in the corner. Why would an enemy monster hide in the corner? I then had a thought. either the other two monsters even attempted causing my character harm. Was I playing the villain? You step forward and draw your knife. A new line interrupted my thought. I didn't type anything, so why is it acting on its own? The troll's eyes glint in the darkness, looking petrified into yours. What the hell? I thought. I wasn't even touching the keyboard. You raised your blade. Stop! I frantically typed. After a short pause, the game replied, no. The game was defying me before I could type quick game, cancel. The game flashed this up. You grab the slightly bigger troll by the hair and stab its eye with your knife, his brain matter leaking onto the floor. The smaller troll screams in terror, and you drop the corpse. You gently kneel down and meet the shrieking monster with calm eyes. She stops screaming as soon as the knife splits her heart open. With her final gaze, the creature looks at you and asks, why, big brother? The computer made a sickling, fizzling sound before I tore out the plug. What was this? What the fuck was Barry playing, giving me this sick game? I immediately grabbed the phone and punched in his numbers, ready to scream off a storm at this apparent joke. I had to redial 3 times before I heard a weak and timid, yes? It was definitely Barry, and something was wrong. But I didn't care. My rage at this supposed practical joke clouded my senses. I screamed, what the fuck is wrong with you, Barry? Do you get off on this kind of shit? Is it fun for you? There was a long pause. I couldn't. Barry's voice shook, and his breathing was frantic and hollow. I just want to know why, man. Why? Tell me why you would do this. I was still angry, and each sad breath he hurriedly inhaled over the phone pulled me out of my rage. I don't know. I just don't know. It was then I heard tears. He was sobbing. I quickly tried to think of how to retract what I'd said. I clearly interrupted something bad and made him feel even worse. Before I could find a good apology or excuse, the phone dial tone played. He'd hung up. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? My friend made a simple mistake and I explode on him. Well, he's clearly devastated. I glanced over at the clock. It was 3 a.m., far too late to head over there and apologize. I guess I had to wait till morning. Next morning, I rushed to Barry's house, and was horrified by what I saw. Barry's house was surrounded by cops, ambulance, and police tape. I ran over to one of the cops, who were trying to hold back gossipy, vulturous neighbors. Officer, I'm friends with Barry. Is he okay? What happened? The officer calmly explained everything. Barry had murdered his entire family. I timidly asked how it happened, too taken aback to even know what I was saying at this point. Apparently he stabbed his father and robbed him, and then slit his mother's throat as she walked in on the scene. His brother and little sister apparently heard it and hid in the closet, but he found them and stabbed them both repeatedly. He apparently didn't remember a thing, and after answering the phone, stabbed himself in the chest. He didn't die, though. He was currently being held in police custody. I was close to vomiting, for some reason, some ray of hope that I wasn't responsible. I asked them what time they think this happened. They estimated between 2 and 3 a.m. I started crying. What had I done? I wiped away my tears and walked off, and not before hearing this exchange between 2 cops and a paramedic. Medic. So what's going on? What's gonna happen to the kid, officer? Well, we better get him to a psych ward, and from then see if he has any next of kin. Another officer. Sir, just ran him in through the database. Apparently he has no extended family. If Barry doesn't have any extended family, then who gave him this game? But one single thought clawed its way in my mind, killing any remaining questions. There was 2 more discs. Okay, I like that one. I know I screwed up a couple times, but don't hold it against me. This is my first reading I've done online. If you have anything you want me to fix or anything, just tell me. But about this creepypasta, I thought it was actually pretty good from the first time I read it. This is like the second. And it's actually, I like how it goes on about the floppy disks and how a cursed game can cause your best friend to do this and how it can cause all this damage to other people. Well, I thought it was good. If you think so too, like, comment, subscribe. Please comment about anything you would like to fix about me reading. And have a good day. Bye.